Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Tanya Omar, and some of the stories coming up in today's news: where there's smoke, there's fire. Police search for missing Wakefield woman. Tutor allays fears over media coverage, and more. Thick black smoke could be seen billowing into the sky in Richmond, near Three Brothers Corner, around 8:30 a.m. Monday morning. Although it turned out to be a permitted fire, the contents included, and what could be seen, were building materials burning in a large pile put there by an earth digger. The Richmond Fire Service was also called out to the fire in what appears to have been a false alarm. However, the fire contents could easily have been mistaken across Richmond Township for some kind of structural fire due to the colour and density of the smoke issued from the fire. Nelson Police have been searching for Wakefield woman Rachel Stokes and have concerns for her welfare. Stokes's car had been found crashed on State Highway 6 near Kawatiri Junction on Friday morning, and searchers are still yet to locate her. A search and rescue operation was launched around 9 a.m. Friday with several ground search teams who scoured the immediate area. A helicopter and search dog were also deployed. The search failed to find any trace of Rachel Stokes, and police have been appealing for members of the public who may have seen her or offered her a ride to come forward. Rachel Stokes is European, aged 46 years. It is unknown what she was wearing at the time. Police now want to urgently talk to a woman called Cheryl, who contacted police on Friday to say she had seen the missing woman along State Highway 6 on the Kawatiri-Murchison Highway. A ground and air search was resumed on Saturday morning, with white water teams also searching the Buller River. Police are asking all motorists travelling on State Highway 6 south of Wakefield to keep an eye out for Rachel Stokes and to call 111 immediately if they see her, and to get as accurate as possible description of their location. Mainland's Ethan Williams spoke to Sergeant Malcolm York in Murchison on the weekend about the search.
The police are continuing the search today for a missing person, Rachel Stokes, missing between Kawatiri Junction and Murchison. We have ground teams working, searching areas of interest. Been using a helicopter also this morning to search from the air, and we're also utilising White Road Rescue Team to search the Buller River through our search area.
Comments from well-wishers have flooded in, and people who know Rachel have spoken about what a lovely person she is on the Nelson Police Facebook page. A person also posted that Rachel had purchased fuel at their business South Fuels in Spring Grove at 5:50 p.m. Thursday night. One unsubstantiated comment since removed suggested some talk that she may have been forced off the road. However, she was last seen by a member of the public walking towards Murchison. Sergeant Malcolm York says he's confident Ms Stokes isn't anywhere near where her crashed car was found. He also said there's nothing to suggest foul play or anything sinister. Police believe information Cheryl may be able to provide could assist in helping police locate the missing woman. Anyone with information are urged to call Nelson Police, phone 5463 840. Last week, media reported that representatives from 7 universities wrote to the Ministry of Education stating that the entry-level standard for teaching needed to be raised and not fall into a Plan B degree category. We asked the University of Canterbury Nelson campus lecturer and centre coordinator Ian Bowell for his response to these concerns. Well, thank you for your time here today, Ian.
Welcome.
And we are just wondering what your response is to the academia writing to the government and saying we need to raise the entry level for new teachers.
So my initial response is that I would agree with that. I think we should always be looking to improve, and one way of improving would be to raise the expectation of what you need to become a teacher. This is not a new issue. Over the last, whatever journey you've taken to become a teacher, that journey's changed probably over the last 50 years. So when I trained, which was a very long time ago, there was a different qualification, and those qualifications have changed over the years. And so this is just ongoing. So this is, the government signalled this probably about 5 years ago, that they wanted to raise the standard of teacher education, and it will go post-grad at some point. I'm not sure which point that will be, and this is probably just the first step. I don't think that we should separate, though, the qualification needed to enter the course and other criteria we need, because it's not just about the qualifications. It's also about an attitude. It's also about ability to communicate, and all of those are just as important, because everyone can have a qualification, but not everyone can teach. So part of getting onto this course is an interview process. And so that does filter out those who think they might be able to teach, and those that can teach. It
can be quite confusing, like I say, for lay people, because on one hand we hear about charter schools and it's not necessarily qualifications that are needed, and then we hear, well, we need to raise the standard. It can be quite confusing to understand, is it all in a bit of turmoil at the moment?
Yeah, I think no more than before. It's obviously today's issue, education. I think we should always be talking about education. It's obviously one of the most important areas of our society is providing free education for the population, which is equitable for everyone. We all would like to think that everyone is given their best chance to succeed. But if we look at statistics, and if we look at the statistics for national standards, that's evidently not true. I mean, there are certain places in the country where the standards, their scores seem to be lower, for whatever reason that might be. So I think we do need to talk about, teacher education. We do need to talk about schools. We do need to talk about how do we support our teachers and how do communities support our teachers to raise the awareness of what goes on in the classroom. I think they do that really well in Nelson, by the way. I mean, I'm talking nationally. I think, the connection between our communities and schools at the moment is really strong. And I think it's no coincidence that when you look at the national statistics for national standards, that Nelson actually scores higher than whatever the mean is. And so we're obviously, performing better in primary schools. And I think one of the reasons for that is the connection and support that schools get from both, high quality staff and the communities. So that could be the answer. Perhaps we should, if we want to raise, the perception that teaching is a great career, then perhaps it's the community that should be part of that conversation, and they should be supporting the schools.
I think it's hard for parents too who want to help their children invest in their education, hearing these reports, and it feels like, why would I want to spend thousands of dollars with my child in teacher education when the perception is they're going to come, it's not it's a dumbed down area now.
All right. So I think the emotive language used by the press that this qualification is dumbed down is probably not true at all. As I said, historically, the qualification has always changed. So, in 10 years' time, it will probably be a postgraduate qualification right the way across the board. And 20 years ago, it wasn't a 3-year degree. It was a certificate. And yet those people who trained 20 years ago are still in schools and are very, very good teachers, and quite a lot of them may be principals. So it's more than the qualification. I think the qualification will reflect the view of government at the time, and reflect the view of population, rather than that this qualification is slightly less than another, and as a consequence you're not a very good teacher. I think that's got absolutely nothing to do with it.
Has this sparked discussion amongst the students here at the Nelson campus?
I'll let you know in a couple of days, because I've got them tomorrow. The Nelson campus, which is interesting, we're a bit of slightly different in that we attract people from our local area, and so they are very, very much connected to the community. So they're a reflection of our community, and our cohort is The age range of our cohort is broader than you would probably see in Canterbury. So a lot of people have started here because they've either thought of a career change, or that perhaps they've been working in a school as a teacher aide, or perhaps they've been working with schools perhaps as a coach in some way, and they've had that insight into what goes on in the school, and they think, actually, this would be a really cool job, and I think I'll make a career change. So I don't think you could go to any of our students and say, is this plan B? Because it definitely isn't. It's definitely plan A. And they are committed to, some of them, as the stats say in the papers, could be up to $30,000 debt to make a commitment to becoming a really good teacher. So, yeah, I would say they're very committed, yeah.
Did you know Prime Minister John Key had been in the region as recent as 2 weeks ago before he arrived? It seems our Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism could become more known as a Minister of Stealth as his visits go unnotified to the public until after he has left, once going about his selected visits in the region. Some may remember previous Prime Ministers visiting the region as far back as David Lange, who walked among the people on Trafalgar Street around the time of the government making New Zealand a nuclear-free zone in the 80s. We asked people in Nelson if they were informed about his latest visit and what their thoughts were on whether the Prime Minister should be more available to the public when in the region. Were you aware that John Key was in the region last week?
Yep, it was all over the papers.
No, he didn't come and see me. How disappointing.
No, I wasn't aware that John Key was in the region last week.
Yes, I was, because I read Nick Smith's timetable from the Nelson Evening Mail from the previous Saturday.
Do you think he should be more available to the public when he's in the region?
Oh, absolutely. We've got a lot of things to talk about, if only he wanted to talk about them.
Oh, he loves to make himself available. He's got a fairly snappy repartee.
I think possibly, but then he's a very busy man, so I mean, he can't be everywhere at once, and that's not fair to expect him to be everywhere at once, but it would be nice to know when he's coming and what he's here for.
Yes, absolutely. He should be walking around the street. Okay, he needs protection, and I don't condone any violence towards the man, but he should be walking around the street and realise that we're all human beings and we should be treated equally.
A man's body was found on Saturday in a public toilet block in Brantford Park at the beginning of the Mai Tai Valley. Community workers taking a lunch break discovered the man, who they initially thought was sleeping off in an intoxicated state. However, on closer inspection discovered he wasn't breathing and called emergency services. Police say that there appear to be no suspicious circumstances and the matter is now with the coroner. Duck shooting season is here, and already injuries have been caused by people not following the rules around gun safety. So here's a reminder from our police. 7 basic rules of firearms handling. Treat every firearm as loaded. Check every firearm yourself. Pass or accept only an open or unloaded firearm. Always point firearms in a safe direction. Loaded or unloaded, always point the muzzle in a safe direction. Load a firearm only when ready to fire. Load only after the magazine that you've reached your shooting area. Load the chamber only when ready to shoot. Completely unload before leaving the shooting area. Identify your target beyond all doubt. Movement, colour, sound and shape can all deceive you. Assume colour, shape, sound and shape to be human until proven otherwise. Check your firing zone. Think, what may happen if you miss your target? What might you hit between you and the target or beyond? Number 6. Store firearms and ammunition safely. When not in use, lock away the bolt, firearm and ammunition separately. Never leave firearms in a vehicle that is unattended. Number 7. Avoid alcohol and drugs when handling firearms. Good judgment is the key to safe use of firearms. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more. JCar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Hi there, Julian Toon, Waimea Telecommunications. We install and maintain domestic and commercial satellite TV, UHF Freeview and Mainland TV installations in the Nelson, Tasman regions. We specialise in Panasonic telephone systems and provide communications, Wi-Fi, IT and wiring for internet, fibre, computers and DSL systems. At Waimea Telecommunications, we also provide specialist electronic systems for features such as a security camera you can watch on your TV, visitor alert systems and much more. Improve your security and communication and entertainment today. Call us on Waimea Telecommunications on 021 472297, ytel.co.nz.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Trans-Pacific Partnership Roadshow is coming to Nelson on Wednesday the 11th of May at Founders Park at 9 a.m. until 12:25 p.m. Registration is required to be able to attend on the link provided. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
G'day, it's your old mate the Mad Butcher, and you're watching Mainland TV.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Hi, I'm John Crouch from Crafer Crouch Construction. We're general contractors here. We specialise in drainage, earthworks, concrete, gravel supplies. We have our own mobile crushers. So for all your contract requirements, call us on 5783 475 Blenheim or in 5736 119 Picton.